Woo! Good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's morning is going well. I am so stuck in traffic downtown. I've been stuck here for like 15 minutes now. So it has to be an accident. Ridiculous. And all I want to do is go get breakfast. Don't mind me, I'm tired. But sitting here riding and stuff, and saw something on Instagram, and I just shared it earlier. Talking about seeing it's talking about from the man's perspective, seeing a woman truly naked, and we've all seen that in some capacity on Facebook or Reddit somewhere, and I was sitting here just thinking about. There's a show out called Love Is. I still haven't watched it, but I'm gonna get around to watching it one of these days. But after I read that and I thought about that, and I was just like, and I've spoken about love before, and my core dynamics of love, which I stated before, is sacrifice and respect. In order to love somebody, you truly have to be able to have those two things about it. You have to respect them. You have to. If you don't respect the person, you can't truly love them. That's my personal opinion. And you have to be willing to sacrifice for that person and compromise. You can use it interchangeably. Compromise, sacrifice. So thinking about that, and matter of fact, I had a conversation with somebody, and they were like, they weren't sure if they loved somebody, if they weren't sure if they loved them anymore, and they felt like they fallen out of love, and I was being super cheesy, and I was like, look, honestly and truly, like, because I don't know the dynamics of y'all relationship. All those cheesy lines, do you feel like that with this person? Like, do you feel like when you wake up in the morning, do you mind if he's there or not? Do you want those good morning calls and stuff like that? Yeah, that could be done with a person that you're just with, but when you're in love with somebody, when you love somebody, you want that. You want that affection, and you want that you want all that lovey-dovey stuff. And I don't know, man. I just I sat back and I'm just thinking about it, because I'm at a stage in my life where love is romantic love is not a factor right now. It's not even on my mind. Well, let me take that back. It'll cross my mind, but it's just whatever to me right now, so it is what it is. And I question myself, and I just be like, I have to remind myself, like, yo, don't get bitter, or don't feel no way about anything. Just remember what love is. Remember what it is. Remember, love is all those cheesy things that you think about. Love is like, holding that person at night. Yeah, it may be too hot and you roll over and don't hold them all night, or don't cuddle, sleep on your side of the bed, they sleep on their side of the bed. But at the end of the day, when you wake up in the morning, you roll over, you kiss them on the cheek, and you keep it moving whether or not they awake or not. Love is praying over somebody without them knowing, And this doesn't even have to be romantic love. This could just be for people in general. Just pray over people. Pray over they pray over for their success. Pray over for their stability. Pray for their strength. Pray for them to get better. Love, going back to romantics. Love is holding, and I think I've said this in some type of way before, love is having the power to destroy something, but don't. Love is holding a person's soul in your hand. holding their vulnerabilities, knowing where to hit them, knowing what strings to pull. And even at moments where it seems like it would be right to use that power against that person, because let's all be real, we argue, we fight with people that we love. But there should be a certain boundary that you two don't go to, because once a person opens up, at least I'll say with me, once a person opens up and they give you that vulnerability, they give you that power, you know what I'm saying? And you use it against them to hurt them, to harm them, it's very hard to regain. That's another way that people lose trust, especially people that they love. Because nobody can hurt you. Nobody can hurt you that bad unless you love them and unless you've given them that power. You understand what I'm saying? Love is having that power and choosing not to destroy that person. Nobody wants to hear that because, you know, everybody wants to be savages nowadays. Oh, I don't give a damn. I'll say what I want, this and that. And I say that too. I be like, man, I'll say what the hell I want, so whatever. But, you know, why would you want to hurt the person that you want to wake up next to every day? Why would you want to hurt the person that you want to succeed? You want to spend the rest of your life with? Why would you want to hurt that person? You know, ask yourself that question. Why would you? Even if that person dogged you, even if that person just did you just petty, why would you? And that goes both ways. Because you're supposed to respect that person enough to know that even if me and you was going tit for tat, we throwing jabs at each other because, you know, like I said, people argue, people get into it. So what, we throwing jabs at each other? You don't use no haymaker against me. Like, and I think that's the problem, man. Especially with people that love each other. And I see it all the time. I see it. I mean, I can talk this talk, but at the end of the day, I mean, I've seen it in people that I know. They do it, you know, use each other's weaknesses against the other, and eventually the relationship breaks down, and eventually the relationship is destroyed, you know, unless you know, get that counseling or, you know, go to God. That's why I think God should be the foundation of every loving relationship that wants to escalate and move to the next level and go to marriage. You know, you got to have God as your foundation, because even when you have that type of spirituality and things like that, you'll feel it. You'll feel it when you're like, you know what, let me just walk away. You know what, and just like, you'll know when you just need to stop and just walk away, or just, you know. It's funny the things you learn when you just sit back and just really reevaluate stuff that you've been through and the stuff that you see. It's just interesting. But nobody wants to talk about love. Nobody wants to admit or even just think. What is love for you? What is it? Like I said, foundation of love for me is respect and sacrifice. You got to have those two things. You got to be able to do those two things. If you can't do those two things, you'll never love that person. I don't care how much what you're feeling, you think Cupid hit you and all that type of stuff. If you're not willing to respect this person, to sacrifice for this person, compromise, you can't. I've been in love for a total of I want to say mature love, I'll say. Because, I mean, I've been in, high school and all that type stuff. First girlfriend here and there or whatever like that. But mature love, like as an adult, trying to seeing these individuals as somebody that I want to spend the rest of my life with at a certain point in the relationship. A total of like 3 times. And each one of those times was totally different. And I was a different person, and I was growing. And I just go back and I look at all those experiences and see what I had to take from them. That's what you got to do, man. Because at the end of the day, whoever I end up with, whatever love I fall into next, I can't be who I used to be. I can't be who I am now. I can't. As far as behavior-wise go, this up here is fine. I got that. But behavior-wise, a lot of things will have to change. But I also think, man, people just stuck on just, when am I gonna find love? When am I gonna this? When am I gonna that? Like, it's so cliche to say just chill out, just wait. Like, it'll happen when it happens. But it gotta be said, it'll happen when it happens. Like, it's just, yeah, man. It's like, you wanna feel what some people feel. You wanna feel your own version of it, but timing is everything. And you can't outrun timing. And you can't rush timing. Love is supposed to be a beautiful thing. Love's not supposed to turn to hate. Love's not supposed to, I don't know. It's a real weird video because it's just like, I'm thinking about things, and it's just, love can be so complicated yet so simple at the same time. Complicated in the sense that we make it complicated, but love is simple. Love is simple. Person that you're in love with, y'all are living, y'all are making moves. Person tells you, baby, what you're doing is hurting me, stop it. Okay, baby, let's talk about this. Why is it hurting you? Why is it doing this? Why is it doing that? And depending on what that thing is, you love this person. You sacrifice for them. You respect them, right? You love this person. You stop. You stop. You weigh the consequences. If you're willing to pay, you here's the thing, man. You gotta weigh the consequences. If when you look at the consequences, and the consequences are, what's the worst that can happen? When you think of what the worst that can happen is, and you say to yourself, oh, I could pay that, then, you made your decision already. You don't look at consequences. When you look at the worst that could possibly happen, and you say, I could live with that, you already made your decision without making a decision. So you could still say, okay, babe, I'll stop. But in your heart, you made a decision already. So you never necessarily even said that you was going to stop. You may have said it out your mouth, but in your heart you didn't. That's when sneaking and all of that comes into play, because, or that's when, the behavior still continues. Because in your heart you didn't accept that, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to stop this for my baby. I'm going to stop this. I'm going to change this behavior. Because in your heart you said, oh, well, if they choose to whatever, because I'm still doing whatever, I'm still this and I'm still that, then you already made the decision. Something I posted the other day, man, it was like marriage will never look attractive to single people because there's too many married people acting like they're single. And I thought that was so simple, yet such a message in that it resonated with me, because it's like, yo, I see married people that just be, and I mean, I'm talking about married people in the sense of monogamy, the traditional sense of monogamy and stuff like that. My eyes have been opened up to other, you know, forms of relationships and things like that, and communication is key. Don't think just because you're in poly type situations that to be in a situation like that, your communication has to be 200%, because you have to be straight, you have to be honest, you don't have a choice. But in sense of monogamy, there's too many marriages where people are still acting like they single, man. It's like, what's the point of even getting married if you didn't get all that out your system? What's the point of staying married if, and I know what the point is, it's just stability, you know, it's just you know, it's just repetitiveness and stuff, just being the same. What is wrong with people? What is wrong with people? Just, sorry y'all, people walking out the crosswalk and there's a green light, like, y'all crazy. I think people won't hit you. You look at that person that you love, man, and you really just think about life without them. Think about life without that person and see how you would feel. The other thing that with me, and this is me personally, because I was taught to stand on my own too, and because I was, you know, what was instilled in me is to be independent of anybody. Don't count on people, you know. I find that sometimes that I'll look at relationships and be like, well, I don't need anyone. And I don't feel like I need anyone. But at the same token, I would like to have someone. I don't know. I probably won't post this video. I don't like it. I'm bearing some deeper questions and things that that crosses my mind at times. And if I do post it, then just negate that last part. No, man, but I said this in one of my other videos that I need to really stop, because God plays such a quintessential role in my life and decisions that I make, and how I carry myself in general, and how I try to, you know, give people advice and stuff like that. I always pray that my tongue is used to give sound advice. So, you know, even when it boils down to women, and one day whoever it is that ends up in my life that I want to make my wife, you know, God is going to play a huge role in that. And I think he should in every single one of my peers' decisions when it comes down to deciding to get married. Now, disclaimer, obviously that is with people that believe, you know, and people that have faith in a higher power. If you don't, then, you know, disregard. Love is such a beautiful thing. Even at its weakest moments, even at the points where you're your angriest, and y'all two at the end of the day still come back and say, I love you, I hate you, but I love you, I hate you big head, but I love you. It's just fun.